Hi guys, one of the ways of getting under the skin of Tory MPs, ministers and Rishi Sunak himself is to talk about tax returns. Transparency is the enemy of the Conservative Party. So when Andrew Gwynn, a Labour MP for Denton and Reddish, asked the Prime Minister about ministers publishing their tax returns, the reaction was one of irritation. Oh, and Andrew turned the knife somewhat by mentioning monies the Prime Minister has made, for example, in the USA that may not have been declared, which would be something a future government should look into. Have a listen.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, in some jurisdictions, ministers routinely publish their tax returns. The Prime Minister voluntarily published his UK tax returns last year. Does the Prime Minister agree that ministers of the Crown should publish their tax returns as a matter of course? And has he ever filed any returns in the USA that have not been published?
Mr. Speaker, I don't think that would be proportionate or appropriate. And what I've done is... I don't think it would be proportionate for all ministers to publish their tax returns. In keeping with the long-standing tradition, I voluntarily published my tax returns, as did the Chancellor. I think that is the right balance, and I've been completely transparent about that as I've done it.
No mention of the second question about money that you may have made in the United States. Rishi Sunak doesn't want people to look into that. Now, of course, the first point doesn't want ministers to have to publish their tax returns because there are probably some ministers who would like very much for this information to remain hidden because maybe they are receiving money from, I don't know, outside the United Kingdom. Russia used to be a huge donor to the Conservative Party. So it could be quite embarrassing if some ministers have to publish their tax returns and then have to answer some questions as to where they receive certain money from. But if you want trust in politics and you want trust in politicians, then it makes sense that ministers should publish their tax returns so that the public can look at where people receive money from, how much money they receive, and who they're actually working for. Because think about it for a moment. If a government minister is receiving huge donations or working on the side, like for, I don't know, a dodgy TV station, then where is their loyalty? Is it to their constituents or is it to the donor or the people who are paying them more than they're earning as a politician? So if we actually can see their tax returns, we can see how much they're earning, how much they're paying in tax, then we can determine where their loyalties are, or at least try to understand that. This is why Rishi Sunak doesn't want transparency. Doesn't want transparency for ministers or doesn't want transparency for himself. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.